Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Gamecast, episode 444. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gast, joined by Corey Feinsod.
Yo.
And Tony Korkanakis.
Hello.
What's up, guys? Welcome, listeners. Welcome, viewers, to 444. This is a very special week. If you just going to plug it right here, we have a spoiler cast out for Marvel's Endgame, Avengers Endgame. Make sure you check that out, only if you've seen the movie, but definitely check it out. We're going to be giving our full thoughts, spoilers, everything about that. We have the movie cast, which we talked a lot about numbers for Avengers in there. So if you want to hear about the numbers, go check out our movie cast 444. This episode is our games cast. We have some gaming news this week. No topic because of the amount we're going to be covering Endgame again. I'm sorry, everybody that maybe doesn't care about Endgame, but it's the big thing, and obviously it's the biggest thing in the world right now, movie wise. It's pulling in like billions. But this is Gamecast. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into some news. Let's talk about what we've been up to, though, guys. I bought something special, surprising the world. So backstory here: I had pre-ordered Days Gone. I think I mentioned it last week on the podcast because of the bonus credit that GameStop was giving me. So I'm like, well, I'll get the bonus credit, and if I don't want it, I'll not get it. And if it turns out to be crap, they had the 48-hour guarantee from GameStop. I was like, well, I'll probably pick this up. And then everything I heard about this game, it sounds like Sony has a miss, like a meh. They have a meh.
Yeah,
I think
if it's the game style that you like and enjoy, then you probably will enjoy it. And if it's not, then you probably will hate it.
Even then, I think the big thing for me was like Greg Miller's a huge PlayStation fan. He loves a lot of games that I'm just like
PlayStation shill, you might say.
Yeah, and then the fact that he wrote how disappointed he is with Days Gone, I'm like, okay, this could be a pretty bad game. I mean, this is a guy that likes to fluff things. No offense to Greg Miller, he's good. He's very good, but I'm just telling you that he does like to hype up stuff a lot. He loves a lot of stuff. So the fact that he doesn't like that, I think, weighs more for me on this because he's not trying to sugarcoat it. You know what I mean? Like,
I watched somebody stream it. I'm just like, this looks terrible.
But the thing is this surprising for us because we've watched E3s for years now where we're just like, this game looks horrible. Like, it looks boring. And it comes out boring.
So mediocre is what it looks.
It looks like boring.
So that's the problem with it, I think. I mean, I wanted it to succeed. I was rooting for it, and I wanted to play it, but I just don't have time for it. It's just not
exactly
not gonna.
It's a 40-hour open world game, right? Or is it bigger than that?
Yeah, I'd say probably that sounds right. At least
with the story that doesn't seem to be very good, and that's the biggest problem.
Like the reviews are just so all over the place too, which is
so
really interesting. I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
very bothered me about. Somebody mentioned like, oh, he's supposed to be a morally gray character, but like, you like wind up like selling people into like slavery essentially. I'm like, how is somebody that sells a human being into slavery morally gray? Like that's not morally gray. That's bad. That's dark.
No, that's bad.
That's villain shit. Like, don't try to tell me like, oh, he's ambiguous. Like,
yeah,
hard world. You gotta be a hard man.
Yeah, it's like fuck that.
So, anyways, I skipped out on this entirely, but I wanted to get a new game because I'm not playing anything at home. I'm playing like Cuphead at work, but on breaks, obviously on breaks, maybe sometimes not. When I'm waiting for stuff to load, it's a great time to jump into Cuphead and get killed by a boss. So I'm enjoying that on the Switch quite a bit. I haven't experienced the slowdown as much. I have seen frame rate dips, but not after the initial load. Like it was only in the beginning of things, and then it picks, and it's fine. So yeah, since you pointed that out, Tony, it's like this is clearly the problem. It just needs to be patched. So I haven't really had too much to complain. Controls
since the podcast started.
Oh, sorry. So I picked up Sekiro on PlayStation. Not PlayStation, Xbox One. So okay. I think it's more about the game for me that I'm still enjoying it. I'm not at a frustrating boss. I did die to the first, like, not mob, but like the first guy who takes 2 hits, really. Because I'm very eager to press that counter button, like too fast. So my timing is just way off with that. So I have to play the tutorial more with that one guy I just ran into. But to work on that. So I played the entire first area with with how good I am at this game. And I mean, I think I finished that level with dumb luck. Like, Tony,
so what happens?
Yeah. So how many was there supposed to be a lot of people to fight in that area or no?
In that first area, like as you're leaving the castle.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's like maybe 6 or something like that.
So I fought 3.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is though. I mean, here's the thing in the Soulsborne, whatever Sekiro, or whatever the genre, the From Software games. Trash mobs are trash mobs. You can run past them if you want. Like they have a certain aggro radius, just like in World of Warcraft or any I don't know like that way. They'll do aggro and stuff like that after a while. I mean, there's some circumstances where like you probably don't want to do it because they can alert other people and stuff like that. But like, you don't have to fight those dudes.
Yeah. So there was a bridge part. I'm not. A little mild spoilers for Sekiro here. I'm not far in, but there was a bridge part in the first level that I saw 2 guys. So I'm gonna go under this bridge, and I thought there was something that looked like a freaking like pigeon there, but it was actually a dude with a hat on who promptly knocked me off the bridge, and I fell into a pit of poison with weird creatures coming at me, which I killed. Jumped out of the pit and ended up in front of the door to leave the area.
Yep.
And that was my level 1.
Yep.
So that's how I got out of the first area. So yeah, it's going to be interesting playing this game quite a bit. It looks great. I mean, I want to play, like Ghost of Tsushima is going to be something I can't wait for, because I'm so eager, like hungry to play a feudal Japan, like samurai game. This is more of a ninja game. Like you said, it does remind me of Tenchu quite a bit. It does massively remind me of Tenchu, which I sucked at after the first level. So I'm really worried about these areas. But I really want to play like a samurai game, and it's similar to that. You are a ninja, but it's parrying and blocking, and one quick blow you can kill somebody. In this, it's like regular mobs. So it's like I do like that aspect.
No, you can do that to the new bosses too.
Oh well, it usually take two hits.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, if you sneak up on them and you do an assassination technique,
really?
It takes away more of the things right away. Yeah.
Oh, good. I have to work on that then.
Yes.
Good. Yes. So, but I'm enjoying it actually right now. Next week, maybe a completely different report. But
so that's as far as you've gotten. You haven't fought anything else. Like maybe?
That's really it. I mean, I played the tutorial, like the first, just the basics with the guy. That guy you told me to sit with, and that's about it so far. Strangely enough, it's almost like the game doesn't want me to. My controller died, and then my battery pack died on the controller, so like it wore out finally on my Pro controller, my Elite controller. So I have to get a new battery pack, and I just haven't gotten to get one yet. I could plug it in and play it, but I'm like, I like to kind of sit on the couch, and my couch setup is too far away from the TV to plug it in, so I'd be, so I haven't played it the last 2 days, but do plan on picking that up tomorrow, the battery pack, and playing more. So, but yeah, it's cool. That's really it for me. Tony, you been playing more Sekiro or not really much? Nope. It's endgame. It's endgame for you.
Endgame, yeah.
Yeah.
It's endgame.
All right, Corey.
Yeah, just a little more Destiny. Not too much of anything else.
Okay. You know what's funny? We don't have Mike on here, and I wanted to talk about Mortal Kombat 11. Because that was the big thing for this week. And last week we reported the fact that they had unbalanced drops and stuff like that. And I wanted to say that it sounds like they've started to patch this already to the point where it's almost like doubled certain drops and tripled the drop rate of certain items as well. So they've already patched that in there. They've heard the crowd and they were reacting. I was under the impression they wanted you to buy items. That's why they did this.
There was a weird report that it was going to be like $6,000 to buy everything.
But yeah, I mean, the more I researched into this, and it's not even just the tweet that I think it was Ed Boon that tweeted back saying that's impossible because we don't charge for the items that you have to use to get the items that you're complaining about. That's the thing. It was just misbalanced loot system. I mean, it's something that they weren't trying to. It doesn't look to me like they were actually trying to gouge money out of you. It looks to me like they just completely goofed on the drop rates to make it too challenging, to make you play the game longer. And I'm not saying that that's probably what they're trying to do as well.
They've done this before. Like they've literally done this before.
Sure.
Every other Warner Brothers game
honestly,
has had this happen.
But I mean,
it's
honestly,
not a mistake.
Sure, but like they're not making extra money off of this mistake. Like you know what I mean? Like they're not.
My understanding was that
maybe I'm wrong.
Can pay to like unlock a tower or whatever.
I thought anything.
Well, the thing that's taking like towers is different. Like the crypt here is like there's a lot of stuff in the crypt that was just taking forever.
That's what I mean. Like
that like would take days, and they've cut that down to like hours now. But like I don't know about the towers. I couldn't speak on that.
The towers have
like,
items. Here's the thing about the towers.
Like you kind of have to tweak it. Like if you're NetherRealm and Warner Bros. Is saying these are the things you need to do, like make sure you do it. Maybe you go like as high as you can, because you can't go higher once it's out. You can only go lower, right? If you go higher, then you're basically like that's like no one's gonna play your game because you're just making this harder for us. If you go high, then you bring it down, it makes you look better. It's like I don't know, maybe there's a little conspiracy going on here.
It could be. I think that the thing for the towers were you would run into mobs that have like fire damage by rockets, and it's like burn over time.
Super difficult is what they're saying, right?
But you couldn't win those matches. Like if you took one hit, you lost in those matches without having the consumable that you needed to purchase. But it wasn't for money though. It was like you had to grind in another area to get the money to purchase in the tower, but not real money, the consumable. So that was the problem with the misbalanced things. I don't know anywhere where the money came into the money aspect came into it.
It sounded to me like it's mostly a time thing. Like
it was
way
really mostly
overbalanced in time to keep you in the game, more invested in the game, but it's backfired.
Yes.
But I mean, when you're playing the game more, then you will also spend more money.
So anyways, I also want to say I've heard great things about this game in terms of its gameplay and even the story mode. People love that, like the nostalgia aspect of the story mode, going back to these original areas and games.
That they do that.
Yeah.
Later.
But yeah, so I mean, I've heard good things about this game. I'm just not a Mortal Kombat combat system fan. That's the problem for me. I don't see myself getting like I have Injustice, and I've never really played Injustice 2, even though they have the characters that I love to play as, and that's because of I'm just not. I'm a Street Fighter fan. I like their combat systems. Street Fighter style games for me work. I understand how to play those better. And Mortal Kombat is just, to me, is a slower based game. It just is. I don't know, and I just don't.
I mean, different styles, sure.
So
I'm excited to see these leaked. I totally just looked at the leaked character DLC list. I'm excited for those. I don't want to spoil it for anybody that doesn't want to know about them, but it's pretty interesting to see what they have out there that's coming.
Yeah. So
they usually do good ones too. Like the DLC character story is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I did like the lore. I watched the videos of the story mode because there's a YouTube video of the entire story.
So what happened with Jax? Because I heard there's some controversy with Jax's character.
Well, he has like PTSD, I guess.
Is that what it is? Like I just heard.
Well, I think the big controversy was his ending.
Yeah, what's his ending?
Well, if you care about it or not. But apparently he goes back in time and makes it so slavery never happened or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't see the big controversy. I mean, like, that's like somebody going back in time and stopping like World War II or World War I. Like, it's like, obviously this is a really bad thing. So stopping it would be really
affect you and your ancestors like directly.
Yeah. That was I heard there was a big controversy, and that's okay. I expected something like
I didn't know the controversy was that. I was like, wait, what is that?
That's what I heard, but yeah. All right. Let's see. We've got other news. We've got the PlayStation 4 news about their fiscal year. They're
doing great.
They are. I mean, 98 million PS4s sold now.
I thought it was 96, but
I thought it was 98. Sorry,
96. It's just underneath.
96.8. You're right. 96. That's what I thought it was 98.6. So I'm flipping it in my head. They've just shy of the 100 million mark. They're going to make 100 million. Clearly. Very good for them. They've had a great year. It's 17.8 PS4 consoles during this fiscal year. Let's see. What's funny is like I knew these numbers earlier in the week. They expect a lower year this year and
next gen. So
because of the development in terms of they're putting money into the PS5 development that lowers their revenue anyways overall, and but they've had a great year. I mean, sales are up. Their controller is the best selling this year we were talking about, and like
I mean, I'm hoping that they can keep going and doing well, and like the competition pushes them, and they competition.
So the big news coming out of it, well, for me personally, not for most people, but big news coming out of this was at their investor call, they mentioned specifically that they're not launching the PS5.
Oh yes, that was
within 12 months. So the earliest we're going to see it is April 1st, 2020.
Which is surprising. Possible. This is surprising to me because I expected a March launch. I really did.
I did too. I thought they were going to take.
So does this change your Last of Us prediction?
A little bit.
Yeah, I think so too.
To me, it sounds like a misstep because if they wait until holiday 2020, at least in the US, that's going to be election time. And I mean, I think the PlayStation 5 is going to sell well no matter what. It's just again, you're fighting for advertising space, and Nintendo specifically mentioned the last time that when they launched the Wii U back in 2012, they launched again during the typical holiday period, and advertising was so much more expensive because all the networks were charging more because it was election time and there's all those election campaign ads going on. So it's just it just seems really strange. Again, I think we talked about this. You're going to sell out whatever you produce on launch.
On launch, yeah.
100%. You produce 1 million, you're going to sell 1 million. You produce 2 million, you're going to sell 2 million. So it just seems crazy. It's if they could do it in spring of 2020, why wouldn't you do that? But
yeah,
maybe they can't. Maybe they can't get it by then. I don't know.
Well, technology-wise, maybe they're waiting on these chips we just heard about. So
custom car drives.
Yeah. So we'll see.
The scary thing is. The one scary thing is, you know how they had that, was it a Variety? I forget who they went to, and they had that, PS5
Wired.
Information. Yeah, Wired. Apparently, they wanted to do that because they wanted to get ahead of leaks because they were starting to send out the.
What happened? What I heard was Wired went to them and said, "We have this leak."
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes, they went "We have this leak and we're going to run it." And they're like, "Why don't we just make a story out of it?"
Yeah, that's what I've heard they did. They actually
That's interesting.
Yeah.
If that's the case, I can see that. But the one possibility is that the dev kits are just getting out there now, which would be kind of super scary if the dev kits are just getting out here now.
Yeah, it would make sense then. It's fall.
But it's also
2020.
built on the PS4 architecture. So if you're familiar with PS4 architecture, you're probably going to be a leg up here.
Right. But again, then it just points to our PS5 launch games is going to be super HD res PS4 games. I don't know.
No, absolutely. We'll isn't that what all next gen launch titles are? Yeah. Better graphics and hey, look at this! Look how pretty this game is, and we can run it at 60 frames now.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what we get with them. We're not going to get any news this year. Then I'm pretty certain at E3 from them. I do expect Microsoft to give us their plans of launch even for their new Xbox. I think they beat them out the gate just because they like to correct that mistake from last time. All right, Apex Legends is I guess still doing very well for them. I think it's died off in terms of its hype.
Definitely died off.
Yeah, their support though has now caused a delay for Titanfall 3. Which is frustrating because I was very happy that Respawn released Apex Legends and it will bring us, Titanfall 3. But because of
this is what you would worry about is a game that comes out that is constantly needs to be constantly monitored, constantly updated, constantly worked on. Do you have the manpower to continue to work on other things?
Yeah.
And if it's successful, why bother? Why bother doing other stuff?
Exactly. And that is the fear.
The argument would be if this is successful, then we have the resources to do the other thing. But
which is which is the bright side of things. It's just Titanfall 3 is getting a delay, and they've come out and said this because of the amount of work they're putting into Apex. And so it's disappointing.
To me, that's fine because, honestly, if it wasn't for Apex, I would even question if Titanfall 3 would even.
And that's true. Yeah, good point. So,
I think if it wasn't for Apex, we would have had Titanfall 3. And now
you're right, maybe, but maybe we get Titanfall 3 and then it doesn't sell it well, and EA is
well, then you don't get anything after that. But
right, exactly.
Would have happened here. At least, you're getting Apex, which is in the Titanfall universe,
right?
And then now you might get more Titanfall stuff, and we saw that boost in Titanfall 2 when Apex came out.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I would hope that they're taking lessons learned from the Apex and applying it. Obviously not a lot of the monetization model or anything like that, but I'm sure technology or statistics, data, all that kind of stuff they can apply to their knowledge to Titanfall 3. And I think ultimately we'll get a better game because of it. And that's the thing, is would I like the Titanfall 3? Would I like to be playing it right now? Sure, absolutely. But
yeah,
it's not like I'm dying to have it right now. It's like
it'd be nice to know that was coming out this fall. I think this fall is pretty weak.
Is it? I'd actually rather wait.
You get Jedi Order, Jim.
Yeah,
I would rather wait for next year.
That's true.
I would.
So
okay, I think Titanfall would be much better on PS5 and Xbox.
I think so too. That would be great. Yes, whatever the Xbox One 2 is.
But did you guys see that whole Epic story with Fortnite and the hiring stuff that they go through?
No.
With Fortnite obviously is such a huge game; they constantly have to be working on it, and like the crunch is crazy on the game. It's just like constant crunch because there is no end, right? It's just crunch the entire time.
Yeah.
So they're hiring people on 6-month contracts to do the work, and they'll say like, your contract renewal is dependent on your ability to continue to work on the game when we need you to work on the game, regardless of your hours. Mm-hmm. And so like someone asked like a spokesperson, they came out and said, yeah, absolutely. Like we review the contracts that we want to renew and see how willing these people are, stay late and work on these games. And it's like, we know this is happening. And it's just like, if a game like this, it just doesn't end. I mean, you don't have an end.
And here's the thing: is like this is unfortunate. So I'm not defending crunch because I think crunch is bad and needs to at least be changed, or the culture of the industry needs to change. Like we need to work at making it better. Like you're never going to fully eliminate crunch.
Right. Because too many marketing dollars that say, "Hey, this is happening."
But you could adequately
staff and
not even staff, but provide adequately compensate for it.
Well, no, so you're right, but from what I hear, and I read this thing too, was that the people who are doing these contracts, like a lot of these people are doing it for just like that 3 or 6 month contract, and they get paid like crazy bonuses for like the overtime and depending on how well both Fortnite and Epic is doing. So they just do it for 6 months, and most of them just bounce after that because they're just like, nope, like I don't mind working super hard for 6 months to get a ton of cash, and then I'm out.
And that's the thing is, I said like they cannot hire people fast enough.
Yeah. And so like if that's the case, and people know that going into that, I have less of a problem. I'm not saying there's no problem. Mm-hmm. I have less of a problem when it's like that. When it's like you're a contractor, like we're gonna do crazy hours, but we're gonna adequately compensate you for it, and then renewals that. Like that's more of like, okay, I kind of know what I'm getting into, rather than when you get to these other established, AAA devs where it's like, hey, you're working on Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead Redemption 2, like 6 years of your life is gonna fucking suck ass. Like, and you're salaried and all this other stuff. Like to me, that's a little worse. But again, I think crunch overall, industry needs to unionize and stuff like that. But
yeah, I think so. What else do we have here? We have more weirdness from Death Stranding. Hideo Kojima has now hinted that it might be an all connected universe.
I'm just so tired of hearing about this game.
All connected to what?
Like an MMO.
I'm tired of hearing
to what though? Like to itself? Like what do you mean all connected?
Yeah. So his exact quotes were, he can't say anything because Sony will be unhappy with him. But I also threw a really new idea, and this is the end of his conversation. You're connecting the game, and everyone is playing it together, and you'll be connected, and everyone will be connected together.
The game is playing the game.
Yes, together. Connected.
Yes.
Okay. Whatever that means, but solitary, but connected. Mm-hmm. It's a new idea. So this game is. I don't even know.
Life.
I don't know if this game. This game won't make it out. It's so weird. I just don't see it coming out.
It's coming. It's gonna.
At least not
out.
this gen.
It's coming out. I don't care. Like
not this gen.
I don't care.
We also get Nintendo numbers. Nintendo released their stuff last week as well. I think their sales. The Switch is now outsold the N64 officially, which is cool. Smash Brothers Ultimate outsold the entire Wii U console, which I find amazing. It's just awesome to have that number. I think that, Smash, the Wii U didn't sell remarkably great. It's just to have a software title like that just outsell lifetime sales of the Wii U is insane. Is insane. So, yeah, 13.81 million copies of that sold worldwide as of the Wii U lifetime was 13.56. It's impressive. Let's see what else we have here. There's other numbers in there. What was the other numbers?
I posted in Discord.
Yeah, I don't have that link. I should have just linked your post. Yeah. But good luck finding that during this whole thing. But yeah, they had some other numbers in there that they're.
Yeah, so the interesting thing is they actually missed the revised hardware predictions. Like they came out, they revised it down to 17 million, down from 20 last quarter. But then they actually only showed up at 16.8 or 16.9, so they're just under. But they blew past their software. I think they projected 100 million software pieces sold, and then they wound up doing 120 million pieces of software, something like that. So they slightly missed the hardware super nailed the software, which is where they make
where you get the money.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's on pace, pretty good, 35 million units. And so the interesting thing is Q1 of this year, or Q4, Q4, because they go by fiscal year, not calendar year.
Yeah.
They were up everywhere because of Smash Brothers and Mario Deluxe, Mario U Deluxe. But they had massively overshipped during the holiday quarters just to stock it. So to me, that points that they're really prepping that revision model, because I think they, shipped out as much as they could for the last model, and they're just stocking up for the mini model, which is probably coming, within the next couple months. But the interesting thing is, I think top 5 software, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe continues to be the best-selling game on the system at 16.69 million copies sold. Mario Odyssey at 14.4.
Just a good all-around game anybody can play.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Smash Brothers at 13.81. Zelda Breath of the Wild is at 12.7. And then Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee at 10.63 million units of software. So software doing
good.
Damn good.
Yeah, and a really lower price Switch seems to be in the cards for the summer of this year. So it's going to help their overall hardware sales. So, all right. Whoops. God,
and the other thing real quick is that if now Sony and Microsoft aren't launching until holiday, but they're both launching until holiday 2020, I think it gives Nintendo an opportunity to really beef up their, Pro model or whatever they're having next year.
Sure, and launch with them.
We reported last week that it was delayed for whatever reason, but gives them extra time to,
It could launch with them around the same time.
Exactly.
So if they want to do that. All right. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Wow.
Let's talk about the Sonic trailer.
I don't want to talk about the Sonic trailer.
It looks so bad.
So bad. I what's funny is I don't even know. I was in the jury room watching this trailer, and my jaw was just down the whole time. I don't even know. Like, I was actually holding my phone away because I didn't want people to know that I was watching the Sonic trailer. Because I'm just like, it's so bad that I just didn't want people to know I was watching this. But I saw it on the news in the room, and I'm like, oh, this is out. Let me just take a look at it.
I just can't believe that all those leaks, because he looks terrible. I was like, that was hopefully this is the worst case scenario, and they've are able to clean this up afterwards, and whatever. And it's like, no,
this is blurry, not very clean images. Yeah. You couldn't really tell what it was going to look like, but
no. What's up with the human teeth?
It's so creepy.
Is that weird?
So creepy.
It's just weird looking, and he just looks weird, and his legs look weird, and he doesn't.
His legs are too long. He's too thin. I mean,
yeah, and his nose doesn't look right. It's too.
His nose, I don't know. His nose looks fine.
His eyes don't look right. I'm sorry.
It's his proportions.
Yeah,
proportions all over. The eyes are just too small.
Yeah. So it doesn't look great. They did the trailer to Gangsta's Paradise, which is ridiculous to do a trailer. What are you choosing? Seriously. I don't understand the music choice. I will say I like
music choice. It just doesn't look like it should fit.
I will say I like Jim Carrey in this. He looks actually like old school Jim Carrey, which I could enjoy. But he looks like he's channeling
of the Unfortunate Events guy.
Yeah,
similar.
But the other thing is too, it confused me is when what's his name? Catches him in that trailer or whatever like that, and then he goes meow, and I'm just like, oh god, that's terrible. But then he shoots him with a trank dart. I'm like, you're fucking Sonic the Hedgehog. How did you just get hit by that? How did you just get hit by that?
Because later in the trailer, he's playing with rockets and bullets.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't understand. They contradict themselves in the trailer. Not even in the movie. They've already done it in the trailer.
Maybe they'll introduce he needs power rings to use. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. But otherwise, I'm just like,
the rings apparently teleport you to
areas. God,
I don't know. This movie looks terrible. Who in their mind thought this would be a good idea?
The cleverest part.
The producers of Fast and Furious, apparently.
The
cleverest part of the entire thing for me was the Paramount logo using the rings instead of the stars. That was
I liked that a lot. And I'm telling you, I actually liked Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik. I don't think it's not bad.
It's not that bad. But everything
I like
else
that at the end. He looks like him more with the crazy mustache too.
I think he does. I think he looks good. I think that's going to work. I don't think the movie's going to work. So, all right. That's terrible. That trailer. If you haven't seen the trailer, you have to watch it. But just expect it.
He looks weird. I wish it was more pudgy Sonic.
Yeah. I mean, he's got to eat more chili dogs.
Yeah.
All right. It's going to wrap up 444 of the Gamecast. Any questions, comments, write us podcast at allyoucangeek.net. Follow us on Twitter, allyoucangeek. Like us on Facebook. And if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Tune in next week where we, hopefully have more better things than Sonic the trailer, because God, that was just bad. Give us a better trailer of another video game movie. I don't care. Give us something to talk about that's not Sonic for trailer wise, because it's just not getting better. Video game to movies just doesn't work. Sorry. Doesn't.
Pokemon.
Pikachu.
Pokemon.
Yes. Well, that's true. And we'll get that soon. So we'll talk about that maybe on this episode, on the Gamecast too. So.
Wait, is that this week?
No, it's next week. It's next week. All right. So that's going to wrap it up. Tune into the Endgame spoiler cast for those that have seen it. Thanks for listening. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.